In back segment tonight, our final segment with Leon Panetta, author of the new book, Worthy Fights, just out today. So I need a very direct answer on this, all right?
Of course.
Who is the better leader, Bill Clinton or Barack Obama?
They're both bright, they're both able, they both want to do what's right for the country. I think the difference is that Bill Clinton likes politics, likes the engagement in politics. Barack Obama does not like that process of engaging in politics, and I think that hurts his presidency.
How does it hurt it? If he doesn't like the political spectrum and dealing with the Congress and other things, of foreign leaders?
It hurts him in terms of getting things done. And so, you've got this stalemate in Washington to begin with, where there's such partisanship and division that's going on in the Congress, and then if the president doesn't engage with them, then you have a situation where everybody gives up, and they've basically given up on things. They've given up on a budget deal, they've given up on immigration reform, they've given up on issues like infrastructure funding, on trade, on energy. I mean, that is what concerns me, because I think this country cannot stand another 2.5 years of stalemate.
No, that's what you're going to have. And if the president loses the Senate, which he very well may, you're going to have a real lame duck situation. Now, Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State, while you were Secretary of Defense, right?
That's right.
And you know her very well because she was Chief of Staff, and she was running the country, right? And when you were Chief of Staff for Bill Clinton, wasn't she running the country? Oh,
she was very involved.
Very involved. Okay. But she wasn't so involved in the State Department because she got cable after cable saying that the security in Libya was bad, and she didn't really do anything about it. Is that unfair?
I think it's unfair, because if I know Hillary Clinton, if she knew that there was a security problem in Benghazi, she would have done something about it.
Then why didn't she know, if the cables exist, telling the State Department, look, we need more people here?
You know what, Bill?
The British had been attacked there?
I don't know that bureaucracy. I know the Defense Department. I don't know what happened at the State Department. But I know one thing. If she had known that there was a problem there at Benghazi, she would have done something about it.
Shouldn't she have fired the people who didn't tell her, because nobody got sacked except the whistleblowers that said, hey, we asked and we didn't get it?
Yeah, I mean, I would have been concerned about not receiving that information if, in fact, it was out there.
Okay. Now, when you think back about how the country has changed in the 6 years since Barack Obama has been president, I am worried about this country.
Me too. Me too.
And what is your primary concern?
Look, I'm the son of Italian immigrants, and my parents believed deeply in the American dream. My father used to tell me the reason they came to this country is because my mother and he believed they could give their children a better life. I'm worried about whether or not our children are going to have a chance at a better life. You've got this tremendous dysfunction in Washington. You've got a number of threats that we're confronting abroad. We're dealing with a situation where I think this country can go one of two directions. We can either be a great country, an American renaissance, or we could be an American decline. And
we're in decline now. Would that be a fair statement?
I think right now
we're in decline.
With ICE, we govern either by leadership or crisis. And today we are largely governing by crisis.
Look, when President Obama says, and you agree with him here, that arming Syrian rebels, who we don't even know much about, is going to blunt the ISIS fanatics, guys like me say that's just bull. That's not going to happen. You can make a little plan or whatever, but what's going to happen is it's going to have to be a sophisticated fighting force on the ground against these animals. That's what's going to happen. President Obama doesn't have the heart or the will to do it. The next president may. But you're not going to defeat them by training Syrian rebels in Saudi Arabia and giving them a few weapons. That's not going to work, and you know it's not going to work.
You're dealing with a very dangerous and fanatical enemy in Syria. And frankly, it's not going to work just to do air attacks without having people on the ground who know where the targets are and what's going on. Now, if we have people that we can trust on the ground, that's fine. But if the military thinks that we ought to have special forces boots on the ground in order to do what's right, I think the president ought to be open to that kind of recommendation.
Once again, he is not. Once again, he is not leading. No, he said he wasn't. He said it a number of times. He's not open to that. And that brings me to my last question. It's very possible Barack Obama is just not up to the job.
I don't believe that.
You don't want to believe
I don't know, because I want this president to be successful. I want this country to be successful. And I think deep down, he knows what needs to be done. What he's got to do is develop the will to fight, to get into the ring,
he better get
in order to make it happen.
He better get on it.
I agree with you.
All right. Leon Panetta, thanks for taking the fire here.
Okay, Bill.
All right, highlight of your week, wasn't it?
That's right. And I'm heading back to California.
I've known Mr. Panetta, Secretary Panetta, for a long time, and he is you're just an honest man and a great public servant, and I want everybody to know that.
I think
Thanks
I
for coming
appreciate
in
that.
here.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, right.